Hello everybody, this is Anthony John Agnello, Senior Social Editor at GamesRadar Plus. Spider-Man only seems like a perfect video game character. The super strength, the web swinging, the colorful villains, they're all primo gaming ingredients. Mixing them all together into something that's actually playable, that is sticky business. There have been many Spider-Man games made over the past 35 years, but these 7 are the absolute best. Spider-Man and Venom, Maximum Carnage. Spidey had a renaissance around his 30th birthday in 1992. The popularity of Venom, the evil Spider-Man created in part by Spawn mastermind Todd McFarlane, led to a boom of new characters and scenarios in Spider-Man's world, culminating in the massive Maximum Carnage crossover event. Those pesky crossovers weren't quite so prevalent back then. This included a big old brawler for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis based on the run. Incorporating panels from the comics, summonable guest characters like Captain America, and a fully playable Venom, Maximum Carnage elevated itself above the legions of early 90s brawlers with secret dense level design, solid art, and a Black Sabbath imitating soundtrack from Green Jelly. Plus, the game cartridge was red like Venom spawned Carnage. It was too awesome! Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. When Shattered Dimensions rolled around on the Xbox 360, Spider-Man games were going through a particularly dark period. No one had recovered from the travesty that was the Spider-Man 3 movie tie-in game. Developer Beenox, looking to liven things up, drifted from the open-world structure that had dominated the series and went for an action game focusing on multiple incarnations of the character. The results are sometimes uneven, but much like the comics, the novelty and solid art design smooth over the rough edges. Playing as the badass Spider-Man 2099 with his angular costume, and the then-new Spider-Man Noir and other weird variations of the character remains a novelty to this day. Spider-Man. Prior to Neversoft's work, Spider-Man was pretty much exiled to the land of beat-em-ups, platformers, and fighting games. Flush with their success creating the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series and its excellent three-dimensional aerial maneuvers, the studio gave Spider-Man a new life in the CD-ROM age. The first game to truly feel like you were Peter Parker, with actual wisecracking voiceover and a 3D web spinning to make you feel like you're Spider-Man swinging around a city. The open world of Spider-Man 2, the video game, would make it feel dated just a few years later, but Neversoft's Spider-Man was a revelation in its moment. The Dreamcast version, with its smooth polygons, is definitive. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Raven Software really was onto something with its X-Men and Marvel action RPGs. Letting 4 players roll around in tight dungeons, leveling up skills as they go has always been delightful, even since Gauntlet way back in the day. But when you add Stan Lee's superhero legions to the mix, you've got something perfect for wasting an entire Saturday on. Spider-Man is front and center on the cover of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. He's an essential part of your squad, too. While it doesn't have the web-slinging that makes most Spider-Man games sing, it does perfectly capture the feeling of Peter Parker's place in the broader Marvel landscape. Plus, Jessica Drew, aka the original Spider-Woman, is in this, and she rules! Ultimate Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, the video game, is still beloved, but go back and play it today and you discover the horrible truth. Only the web swinging was good. Everything else, whether it was chasing balloons or suffering through terrible fights with Dr. Octopus, pretty much sucked. Ultimate Spider-Man, developer Treyarch's follow-up, has aged much better. Its New York City is bigger and ageless thanks to a cel-shaded art style. The game also benefits from a more likable setting. Taking place in the Ultimate Spider-Man continuity with a younger Peter Parker, you spend the game trading off between Pete and Venom again. The story was even written by Ultimate Spider-Man co-creator Brian Michael Bendis, and the visuals were based on artist Mike Bagley's designs, so the game perfectly slides into the now complete Ultimate Spider-Man saga. It is excellent. Spider-Man, the video game. Part of what makes Spider-Man the video game one of a few Spidey oddities actually made by Sega so enduring is its scarcity. Released in 1991 and never ported to any home console or computer, it's trapped in the past and emulators, keeping its magical excellence secret. And it is excellent, not least of which because it remains the only co-op starring vehicle for Spider-Man's erstwhile 80s girlfriend Black Cat. The cast, which also inexplicably includes playable Hawkeye and Namor the Submariner, takes you through an amazing tour of Spider-Man villains, all of them richly animated and comic book accurate. Plenty of Spider-Man games let you fight Venom, but how many have Scorpion depicted in Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder level detail? The brawling is excellent, but it's also supplemented by weird side stages. Sometimes the stage will just zoom way out and you're suddenly playing a platforming shooter, blasting thugs with webs. It's totally unique and sadly lost to the ages. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's Marvel, baby! Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is still one of the most popular fighting games ever made, and its 56-character roster includes what is possibly the greatest Spider-Man sprite ever made. The way he crouches low, bobbing back and forth, ready to spring at a moment's notice. Marvel vs. Capcom moves the way you imagine Spider-Man would move in the comics, more fleet and exciting than in any cartoon or movie. Plus, he's still a competitive fighter. Peter Parker's risky maximum spider attack is an absolute round wrecker when deployed correctly. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite just can't match the 2D majesty. If you dig this feature and want more just like it, follow GamesRadar at youtube.com/GamesRadar.